started with the color gradation. And how we're going to start is by going to the menu, File, New, and we're going to have a new document that we open. We're going to call it Gradation, and I'm going to start with blue. The size is going to be 720 by 480. We're going to do 300 resolution, RGB color, and transparent background. Say OK. And the tools that we're going to be using for this are going to be the rectangle marquee tool, which is up here. For you, it may be over here. We're going to be using the paint bucket, and we're going to be using the color picker. And also on the keyboard, we're going to be using the arrows that go up and down and left and right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the rectangle marquee tool, we're going to pick the size that we want, which should be fairly small, but not too small. Not too big, not too small. Then the next thing we're going to click on the color picker, and we're going to be focusing just on RGB. Because this is blue, the G is going to be 0, and the R is going to be 0. And you notice the color picker goes over here in the corner, which is exactly where we wanted to start. Then we're going to say OK. We're going to go to the paint bucket, and we're going to paint bucket it. The next thing, and this is really important, you're going to go back to the marquee tool and use your arrows. You do not want to deselect this, and you do not want to use the move tool. Then we click again on our color picker, and we're going to change the R and the G this time by 20 increments. So I'm going to call it 20 here and then 20 here. What you'll notice is this color picker has just moved over from the corner to over there. If it does that, that means you did it correctly. Say OK, click on the bucket, and fill it up. Then you're going to go back to your marquee, you're going to use your arrow keys, you're going to move it over, click on your color picker, you're going to move this up to 40, you can see it moving over, 40, and then you need to go back to your paint bucket, you're going to fill it up, you're going to click on your color, your marquee, you're going to move it over, click on your color picker, now do 60 and 60, and then we're going to go to our paint bucket, and then we're going to move it again. We're going to click on picker, 80 and 80, and paint bucket, go back to the marquee. You can start to see that it's slowly gradating, which is exactly what we want. So now we're going to do 100 and 100. Basically, we're going to end up at white. Oops, need my paint bucket. Go back here, move it a little more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on to red. So to do that, because my selection is no longer active, I need to get it active again. So I just go into my histories palette and I make sure that it's moved over. There we go. Alright, then I want to click on my color picker. And basically, the way that you would start this is these all need to be at 255 because that's the highest they go. And then you get the white for red. Then you go back to the marquee tool, you're going to move it over, click on this, and then we're going to go down to 240. Just because you can't go above 255, so I'm going to go 240, and you can see it's moving over and it's going to become red. I want to fill that up. I'm going to move it over click on it, and now it would be 220. So basically you're doing exactly what you did before, but you're doing it the opposite because you're going red. So you're going to keep doing that until you get all of it. And I'm going to pause this because you don't need to watch me do the whole thing, and then I'll come back once I'm done. So I moved the marquee all the way down to the end, and then basically what I did was I started here at 255 for green, and what I'm going to do is I'm slowly going to go from yellow to orange to red, because when you mix yellow with red you get orange. Okay, so now I'm going to move this a little bit, and basically this is the one that's going to change, is the G. So I'm going to change this to 240 and then move it again. And basically I'm doing the exact same thing that I did before, changing this by 20 degrees. So 240 would next go to 220. Then I'm going to fill it, and then I'm going to move, then I'm going to do another 20, which would be 200. So basically you see what I've done. Let me go back into history just so I can put it all back. Actually, it's too late. I've already overridden it, so I just have to do it by hand, which is fine. That's totally fine. Okay. So 180. And next one will be 160. And 140. Okay, and we're gonna go 120. Basically, what should happen, depending on the size of your marquee tool, is as you go, you will meet pretty much right where you're supposed to meet once you get down to almost zero. Not quite, you won't need to get to actually zero, but you'll get really close. Okay, so we're at 100, and now we're going to go to 80. And we'll move it a little bit. And we want 60. Alright, and then we're going to go down to 40. This is about as low as we're going to go. I think we have one more to do. Alright, I'm going to move this over, join them up. And I'm going to do 20 here. Then we're going to be pretty much done. And that's it. I'm going to say just select at this point, and you can see it looks really great. And that is it for the color gradation. Now you can do yellow to orange to red if you want, or you can also do blue to mixing blue and red and get purple. It's totally up to you which one. You just need all three colors in there, which is red, yellow, and blue, and then one secondary color. And that's it.